Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. We have a very exciting session today called our Next Pitch event. So our next streams are our sector-specific industry streams focused on different areas of climate tech. So you're going to meet with 12 of our ventures today. We're really excited to platform them for you today. Next slide, Astrid. We do have a very tight timeline, so we are going to get started right away. As always, we like to set the stage with a land acknowledgement. So with gratitude and respect, we acknowledge that the lands on which Foresight operates are the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territories of the First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people. Personally, I am on the lands of the Anishinaabe and Haudenosaunee peoples, and my land is under the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Agreement. If you'd like to drop your land acknowledgement in the chat, that's always encouraged. So a little bit about Foresight. We are Canada's largest clean tech network. We have supported over 1,200 Canadian clean tech companies with over $1.5 billion in funding for them. 250 global clean tech EIRs and mentors. We have a network of 400 private capital partners, 1,500 national and global partners. Our community reach is about 15,000, and since our inception, we have curated over 25,000 different climate connections. So our purpose is to help the world do more with less sustainably. The next slide, Astrid. And our mission is to connect industry with the world's best clean technologies. And this is how we're going to get there. So we foster collaboration, break down silos, and deliver action-oriented supports that accelerate Canada's clean technology, innovation, adoption, and export growth through our 4 pillars. So we have our acceleration team, we have our adoption acceleration team, which is where the next streams fall under. We have our capital network support and our knowledge sharing. And with that, I'm going to pass it over to Duran Sawyer. He is the principal for ecosystem partnerships at Farm Credit Canada.
Hi, it's great to be here, and thanks very much for the opportunity. Welcome to everybody. As mentioned, I'm with Farm Credit Canada, and those of you who are not familiar, we're a federal crown corporation similar to BDC or EDC, but our mandate is to support Canadian agriculture. And as an organization, that's primarily through providing term debt to primary producers, but also to companies that either provide an input or add value to what primary producers develop and create. So we have about a 52 or $53 billion loan portfolio, but I represent FCC Capital, which is our sort of venture capital and private equity arm, which has been around for about 20 years. And just over the last several years, we've really expanded in terms of what we've been up to in terms of making investments in venture capital and private equity funds that have a focus on agriculture, but also supporting different ecosystem partners such as Foresight and specifically the AgriNext stream within the Foresight program. So very pleased to be here and super appreciative of the partnership that we have with Foresight and what they're doing from an AgriNext perspective. So welcome to everybody, and I really look forward to hearing from the companies today. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Sharon. And let's go over the agenda really quickly. So we do have a very tight timeline today. We've gone through our welcoming remarks and overview. Our first pitch block is our PowerNext pitch block. So we will hear from Blossom EV, Vortical, VoltSafe, and Luretech. Each of them will have 2 minutes to provide an elevator pitch. And then following that, we'll have 15 minutes of breakout rooms. So the audience can join any one of the breakout rooms that interest them. You can also swap between them. And if you need help, please reach out to anyone from Foresight for support on that. So with that, I'm going to invite our first pitcher, who is Kevin from Blossom EV.
Thank you. That looks like, oh, sorry, perfect. So, everybody. Oops. Hi, everyone. I'm Kevin Brett, co-founder and CEO of Blossom EV. We are the Airbnb of electric vehicle charging. Our software platform allows EV drivers to locate, access, and pay for charging sessions at residential EV chargers. We're addressing the lack of EV charging infrastructure in North America. The opportunity here represents the gap between the charging infrastructure that's available and what we need. Charging deployment just can't keep up with demand. It doesn't catch up until well after 2050. In many places, public fast charging will never make sense. This includes residential neighborhoods, remote communities, and places lacking the power availability. Public charging is problematic for additional reasons, including the lack of reservability and the absence of safety and customer experience features. Oh, sorry, I forgot to ask you to, next slide. Very sorry. Could you continue the next slide, actually? Our platform addresses the charger shortage by unlocking access to existing underutilized infrastructure, the chargers we have at our homes. Our competitors are narrowly focused on the infrastructure shortage problem, and none of them provide a complete solution like ours. At Blossom, we are creating a customer experience that promotes networking and collaboration within the EV community. We endeavor to ease the transition to a green transportation in North America. The North American EV charging market is expected to reach $17 billion by 2030, and we expect to capture 2% or $34 million. Guests pay $1.50 for every kilowatt hour of charging. From this amount, the host receives $1 and Blossom receives 50 cents. We're partnering with key industry partners for speed to market. My team has the experience, credibility, and industry contacts to succeed. We're seeking an investment of $400,000 for 18 months of runway at a burn rate of $22,000 per month. This will deliver the mobile versions of our app and over 5,000 new customers. Sorry, let's go to the next slide. I'm just not used to presenting this way. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Kevin. If you want to hear more from Blossom EV, please join them in the breakout room following this. And with that, I'm going to throw it to another Kevin from Vortical.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks, Shannon. Solar and wind are growing exponentially to meet global energy demands, but solar and wind are intermittent, so utilities and power producers can't count on them for steady generation. They're also difficult to ramp up or ramp down to match customer loads. Vortical can manufacture the best solution to this problem, so solar and wind adoption can continue to grow and provide the world with clean power. And next slide, please. So to solve the problem of intermittent power, we can either massively overbuild solar and wind and power lines, or we can store the energy and smooth out the delivery. And this is being done today, mostly using massive lithium battery packs. But lithium battery packs kind of suck. They require mining of lithium, rare earth materials from all over the world, and you can only charge them a certain number of times. They don't work when it's too cold, and they're also fire risks, so people don't want giant batteries being installed near their homes. So the world needs energy storage, but it has to have a low environmental impact, it has to be safe, and it can't have the charging and temperature constraints of batteries today. Next slide, please. Vortical checks all of the boxes for energy storage by manufacturing affordable flywheel modules that use a spinning weight to temporarily store energy. And we will build, ship, and install hollow flywheels and add the weight as concrete or sand as the last step. And this drastically reduces the cost compared to other flywheel systems. Next slide, please. I am a solo founder with extensive product development and IP experience. And Vortical is an early stage TRL3 hard tech startup. We're looking to raise pre-seed funding. Funds will be used to grow the team, develop our prototype and IP, and secure pilot partnerships. The addressable energy storage market is over $70 billion US. It's growing 27% annually and projected to continue. And there are local opportunities to deploy this technology as soon as it's ready. Thank you, and I hope you'll join me in the breakout room for more information on Vortical.
Thanks, Kevin. And with that, I am now going to pass it over to Terry from VoltSafe.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks, Foresight, for this platform. My name is Terry Grecker. I'm the CMO of VoltSafe. I'm joined by Scott Carlson, our CFO. This morning, I just want you to think about, just for a moment, if you interacted with any form of plug, you plugged in your toaster, your flat iron, your hairdryer, your EV, and came to work. And if you're lucky enough, your boat maybe. At VoltSafe, what we do is we make connecting to and controlling that electricity far more easier and safer than ever before. And it's all controlled from a smartphone or dashboard. Next slide, please. Oh, thank you. Our solutions span multiple verticals. So wherever you connect to high power in any industry, residential, commercial, industrial, we can create the hardware and the software to go with it. It is completely safe to touch. Imagine you have kids with wandering fingers near outlets. It's completely off by default until both sides of the magnets connect and an electrical fingerprint delivers that power. It's adaptable, it's easily retrofit over many different solutions right now, and we do have that proprietary dashboard as well to control power right down to the outlet level and manage that electricity. As our grids get more and more heavily, there's higher demand and increasing demand with electrification. VoltSafe technology is at the core of that. Next slide, please. Our technology delivers impact on 3 levels: social, environmental, and economic. On a social level, it helps those connect to magnets, to connect to electricity using magnets much easier for those that have challenges, arthritis, challenges bending over and inserting a prong plug into a recessed outlet. It's also environmentally more efficient. We can control, grids can see how much power is being consumed. So in an instance like in Texas, where they ran out of power with the demand put on the grid, we actually can help grids manage that power more efficiently. With more and more things moving to electrification, it's important to manage that electricity. And on an economic level, we can save money through power consumption and manage those the power that we have more efficiently and effectively, and reduce our greenhouse gas emissions more efficiently. Next slide, please. On our business side of the company, we have created an IP moat. We have filed patents in over 40 countries around the world, and our road to revenue is through 2 paths: licensing of our multi-purpose connector, which we do have a government contract; our home outlet, we're in negotiations with a major player in the industry; and our main focus is commercialization of our marine shore power vertical. There is more demand for this product already than we can even get out to market, and we know that the interest in safety and efficiently controlling that electricity is there, and the cost savings as well are huge benefits, and the industry is already telling us that. So there's definitely traction. Next slide, please.
Terry, I have to cut you off. You're over 2 minutes, so if you want to wrap up really quick.
Sure. Yep. I just wanted to invite you to our breakout room. We are currently looking to accelerate our marine vertical and license with high value global corporations and high value verticals. And thank you very much for the time.
Thanks, Terry. And like she said, if you want to hear more about VoltSafe, please join the breakout room after. With that, I'm going to pass it over to Leonard Eva from Luretech.
Hello, I'm Leonard Eva, the CEO at Luretech Renewable Energy. The company is using rain power to generate electricity. Next slide, please. Solar and wind are intermittent source of energy, don't cover 24/7 the total of energy demand, and they are not efficient in bad weather conditions. The land footprint for the green energy deployments is a major issue, causing 10% of the project not to be approved. And the energy storage options, such as lithium-ion batteries, have negative environmental impact, and they are not based on local resources. Next slide, please. Our solution is a rainwater generator that uses precipitation collected on the roof building to produce and store energy. It can generate up to 3,000 kilowatt hour per year. It's functional on rainy weather, day or night. It's a hydro-solar energy storage unit as a sustainable alternative to batteries. It's a 6 square feet footprint system installed on site. Next slide, please. The market size, time is 46 billion, some is 13 billions, some is 2.2 billions, and as I mentioned, Caribbean and Hawaii combined estimated market at 250 millions. present an urgent need for this technology implementation. And fundraising ask is 450,000 for prototype development, team growing, and 5 pilot projects. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. So we are entering our second pitch block. This is our AgriNext and WaterNext pitch block. So we're going to hear from Tree Track Intelligence, Stainable. They used to be CO2 Grow, but they have just rebranded. React Materials and RainGrid. So with that, I'm going to pass it over to Amir from Tree Track.
Hello, everybody. My name is Amir. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Tree Track. Here in Tree Track, we're doing reforestation by deploying seed plots with our hybrid drones. Next slide, please. So our focus is wildfire, and as you know, we had a lot of wildfire last year. This year just started. 1,500 hectares is burning out of control in Caribou. And if you want to plant whatever burned in last year, so you need the population of Toronto for more than 1 week with 12 billion seedlings to plant all those lands. Next slide, please. So what we have here, we are a service company, and we offer reforestation. It's a big market, huge market, and these numbers going higher, unfortunately, due to more wildfire every year. And we'll be here to help. Next slide, please. And yeah, so we offer 12 times faster reforestation service for customers, up to 33% cost effective. And what we do, we assess the site, prepare the plant prescription, produce the seed pods. We produce the seed pods here in-house, and then get our drones and drop by seed pods. And next slide, please. So what we offer here, we are partnered with a lot of forest stakeholders from government, NGOs, lumber companies, First Nation, and we're working with them. We are in the middle of a project, and we have several projects lined up for this spring. And last year we did 3 pilot tests generating revenue. Next slide, please. And we just want to scale up our production here. And the ask is for $500,000 Canadian. So far we secured 200K and looking for more 200K. And by that, we can hit our milestone, which is $1.2 million in revenue. So far, out of the 400 hectares, which is our projection, we secured roughly 190 hectares. Next slide, please. And happy to have you in our breakout room. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Amir. With that, I'm going to pass it over to Aaron from Stainable.
Good morning. I'm Aaron Archibald, one of the founders of Stainable. Next slide, please. Stainable is a Canadian precision ag tech company. We're dedicated to optimizing photosynthetic capacity of plants in the protected ag space. With our Stainable crop enhancement service, we enable growers to increase yields, double their profits, reduce their emissions while making more money. Next slide. So what we do, we're Sustainable crop enhancement. We reduce greenhouse emissions by increasing greenhouse food production. We have a 50 customer pipeline presently with 15 different crops under cultivation. We've got 30 ongoing projects, in 15 different countries, and 30 ongoing projects with 10 different crops under cultivation. Those are both commercial projects as well as R&D projects. We have $2.5 million in sales contracts to date, with a 75% gross profit margin. We're raising capital to increase our sales and execute on those sales as we expand. Next slide. So the economic impact our technology brings is that we have an 800 billion square foot protected ag market. That's $1 trillion opportunity. 30% yield increase is $300 billion of added revenue for our food producing farmers. It's got a low O&M costs, and that 30% yield increase drop to the bottom line is 100% increase in their profitability. Next slide. Next, thanks. So our environmental and social impact is that there's 100 million metric tons more food produced. That's enough to feed 500 million people globally, while at the same time we are sequestering or removing 1 billion tons of CO2 with the technology. Thanks very much. I look forward to speaking to you in the breakout room.
Thank you, Erin. That was great. Next, I'm going to pass it over to Trevor at React Materials as part of our Water Next stream.
Hi, everyone. This is Travis Baumann, co-founder and CEO of React Materials. Next slide, please. So I think we all have heard recently and in the past few years about the problem with forever chemicals. These are synthetic molecules that have been produced and are still produced that afford us with a lot of very awesome properties, but the main issue is that they bioaccumulate because they do not biodegrade. More recently, off of just the bioaccumulation and non-biodegradability, they've been linked to developmental alterations, lower antibody response and vaccine response, and as well as numerous cancers due to their various issues. Next slide, please. React Materials offers a carbon-based filter media. And what we do there is we offer complete PFAS destruction in drinking water, and we offer a highly scalable solution. So our mission is to protect human health by removing PFAS from drinking water. Next slide, please. Currently deployed technology, which we all use today, knowingly or unknowingly, is all absorption, no destruction. So it creates concentrated waste streams. This is activated carbon, ion exchange resins, and reverse osmosis. Great technologies for providing clean drinking water, but our solution destroys PFAS in situ and can also deal with the contaminated waste streams from other sources or other methods. Next slide, please. Our business model is to provide a filter media, so the granular activated carbon with our proprietary catalyst and regeneration services of that catalyst to drinking water providers. This will extend the life and reduce regeneration cycles for them and also allow them to produce PFAS-free drinking water without creating a waste stream. Additional markets include material sales and in-home systems. Next slide, please. This is our team. Highly devoted scientists with PhDs in chemistry all around, materials engineers by practice, and numerous publications and patents to boot. Next slide. We are React. Looking forward to seeing you in the breakout room.
Thank you, Travis. Sorry for calling you Trevor. I was reading too quickly. With that, I'm going to pass it over to Natalia from RainGrid.
Hello all, it's a pleasure to be here. I'm the Director of Business Development at RainGrid, and we're an early stage clean tech startup that does intelligent rain retention and reuse. We solve for SDG 6, 11, and 13, bringing climate action to the community scale with our inclusive technology for property level rain management, digital asset management, and data analytics at the utility scale, and then eventually taking that data that is generated at each property level to create payment for ecosystem services. So if you see in the left-hand photo, this is an individual house. So we essentially automate cisterns, and then at the community scale, a system of these creates a decentralized network for catching rain. Next slide, please. The challenges that we address are when it comes to water, it being too little, too much, or too dirty. So in cases of drought in BC alone, we know that it's $375 to $700 million in cost to the provincial economy. Canada-wide, there's $3.1 billion in annual losses due to extreme weather, flooding damage being the most common culprit. And then in cities in the Northeast that have aging infrastructure, we have combined sewer overflows. And then there's also an additional push for a global recycling and reuse market to manage with some of that drought. It's estimated that $1 spent on adaptation can earn you $13 to $15 of direct or indirect benefits. Next slide. So the ask that we have is $250K project financing for our 5th pilot. We've already been recognized globally at the World Economic Forum as an uplink innovator, also at COP28 as a global model of green technology. We've had 3 pilots already installed, one of which was in Collingwood. We're looking to bring our technology where we've already signed a letter of intent with the DC affordable housing provider where they have a stormwater credit market. Your investment at this early stage will help us scale and commercialize the technology further. Looking forward to seeing you in the breakout room.
I think we have everyone now. There might be a couple of stragglers, but thanks everyone for the second round of pitches. And with that, we're going to move on to our 3rd pitch block. So in this pitch block, we're going to hear from BioNext, and we're also going to hear from CarbonX Ventures. So our first venture is Nanocycle Green, and I'm going to pass it over to Gazelle. I hope I said your name right.
Yeah, thank you. Hello everyone, I am Ghazala Samia from Nanocycle. Next slide, please. Polymer-coated papers are utilized in various everyday products and applications. While silicone serves to protect the adhesive side from air, dust, and water, its presence makes recycling difficult due to the silicone layer. Currently, there is no suitable way to recycle these papers, resulting in their burial in landfills or incineration. Next slide, please. Recycled polymer-coated papers in mild condition. Our method is environmentally friendly, and we can save money and energy. We don't require sophisticated equipment to produce high-quality paper. And the final product of our recycling process. This versatile pulp can be utilized for various purposes, including printing paper, coffee cups, and more. Next slide, please. I am Ghazaleh, the CEO of the Nanocycle, and Ghazal is the CTO of the company. Our team includes a chemical expert who holds a PhD in chemical and materials. Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to see you on Breaking Throughs.
Thank you so much. With that, I'm going to pass it over to Nanogreen Bio-Refineries to Sean, I believe.
Thank you.
Today's world requests for high performance, or CNC for short. Oh, sorry. Were you able to?
You cut out a little bit. You might want to turn your video off. Might help with your bandwidth.
All right, I'll try that again.
Good.
So we're talking about CNC, and some examples of CNC's actions is adding CNC to concrete enhances cement hydration, leading to stronger, more durable concrete. CNC can also improve bioplastic strength, stiffness, and barrier properties, making them drop-in replacements to plastics made from petrochemicals. In addition, research in CNC is very active with new applications being developed in coatings, nanofluids, biomedicine, and many others. Next slide, please. We've developed a cost-effective and scalable CNC production process. From our facility in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, we've shipped products to over 250 customers worldwide for research and development across 22 application areas. Their published research underscores our CNC's effectiveness, validating its potential to transform industries worldwide. Next slide, please. We are raising $5 million to be ready to build our first commercial scale operation with a capacity of 10 tons per day. These funds will fuel technical and commercial development, patenting, facility upgrades, and process engineering. The runway for this work is 2 years. I invite you to join us in the breakout session to learn more about our pitch. Thanks.
Thank you, Sean. With that, we're going to move over to our Carbon Next Ventures, and I'm going to invite Andrew from Fathom to come pitch.
Hi, everyone. Burning fossil fuels for energy is warming the world. As we electrify the world to address the problem, the burden is increasingly falling on power plants, where today 60% of our electricity is fossil powered. I'm Andrew Ray from Fathom, and we're here today to tell you how we're decarbonizing fossil power. In the US and Canada alone, just the coastal power plants emit about 400 million tons of CO2 per year. Globally, that number is at least 10 times bigger. Although in theory, point source capture is relatively easy when compared to DAC, today's news out of Genesee shows it's still cost prohibitive and has a bunch of other issues like parasitic losses, storage availability, and environmental impact. Next slide, please. For coastal power plants, the ocean offers a solution. Using a process similar to what coal plants already use to remove sulfur dioxide, we use seawater mixed with limestone to capture CO2, neutralize it, and then convert it to bicarbonate, which is then stored in the plant's cooling water before it's returned to the ocean. For under $50 a ton, we can capture, neutralize, and store the CO2. Just in North America, from 45Q credits alone, we can profitably capture and store the CO2 from coastal power plants, representing a $20 billion annual market opportunity, all paid for by the US government rather than the utilities themselves. Next slide, please. Currently, we're working with the Gulf Coast Carbon Center at the University of Texas to test this technology at medium scale as we get ready to pilot it with New Brunswick Power in their 7-story tall limestone scrubber. Today, we're raising $2.5 million US to run our pilot with NB Power. We already have a US lead for the round and are looking for primarily Canadian investors to fill out that round. Thank you. Looking to talk with you more in the breakout room.
Thank you, Andrew. And with that, we're going to move to our last pitcher, but certainly not least. I'll invite Handon to come and talk about green footprint innovation.
Hi, thank you, Shannon. Hi, everyone. My name is Handan Tezel. I am the founder and the CEO of Green Footprint Innovations. Can I have the next slide, please? Did you know that greenhouses burn fossil fuels to produce the extra carbon dioxide gas they need for their plants to grow? And that carbon dioxide that's produced in the greenhouses, they've been absorbed by the food. And when we eat that food and digest it, we breathe out carbon dioxide, and that carbon dioxide ends up in the air. So what we're suggesting is we're capturing that carbon dioxide that's been released into the atmosphere, recycling it back into the greenhouse, and totally eliminate the use of fossil fuels. And globally, around the world, more than 2 billion tons of carbon dioxide is produced by burning fossil fuels, and it eventually ends up in the air. Next slide, please. So what we're currently, when the greenhouses are burning fossil fuels to produce the carbon dioxide, it costs them anywhere from $200 to $1,000 per ton of CO2. So what we're saying is, let's eliminate the use of use of fossil fuels, recycle the carbon dioxide that will eventually end up in the air, capture it, recycling it back into the greenhouse, and we will do it at a much lower cost to greenhouses than what they're paying for it now, less than basically $100 per ton of CO2. I have a background in chemical engineering, and I have been a professor at University of Ottawa for a long time and developing technologies for gas separation applications. And my co-founder has a PhD in chemical engineering as well. And we have used more than $150,000 of our own funds to build a prototype and brought the cost down to less than $100 per ton of CO2. Can I have the next slide, please? We have 3 greenhouses willing to be the first adopters of our technology, and we are asking for $1 million to be able to build a demonstration plant for a greenhouse. So help us, come and join us and help us put the green into greenhouses. And I'm looking forward to seeing you at the breakout room. Thank you.
Everyone, thank you for joining us today. I think people are just filtering back, but we're just going to do some quick closing remarks. So thank you again, everyone, for joining today. I hope you enjoyed the session. We want to thank our support from Farm Credit Canada, of course, for supporting this event and the AgriNext stream. We'd also like to thank investments in Forestry Industry Transformation, the IFIT program, Genome BC, and Prairies Economic Development Canada, and Xylem, as they support all of our other next streams from the pitchers today. Next slide, Astrid. And so if you want to hear more pitches, we are hosting our Earth Tech Demo Day. So our Earth Tech program, the Earth Tech 2050 Accelerator, supercharges Canada's top climate tech startups with the potential to each reduce or remove 0.5 gigaton of carbon dioxide by 2050. And that is June 5th at 10 a.m. You can scan the QR code on the screen if you're interested in attending. Following this event, we will be sending out the slide deck that you saw today. If there are any connections you want to make, please feel free to reach out to myself or anyone from events. We will include the email in the follow-up email, and we'd love to connect you. So please let us know on that. Thanks, everyone.